What's going on, guys? Welcome to Own the Chaos. This is the midday market recap, and this is where I go live every day talking about over-the-counter penny stocks. Today is a little bit different because it is painfully slow in the OTC. So if this is your first time visiting, welcome. Hopefully I earn your subscription and a thumbs up by the end of this video or this live stream. But just a little bit about me. I trade over-the-counter penny stocks for a living. Now, over-the-counter penny stocks aren't stocks that are traditionally traded on the New York Stock Exchange. It's a very volatile environment, but I've learned how to manage my risk. And that's really kind of the key on really being successful, really in any kind of trading, but really especially in over-the-counter penny stock trading. So today it's really slow. One of the best disciplines you can have about trading is just understanding when to sit on your hands. If the market isn't giving you anything, then you don't have to make a trade. Forcing trades is probably one of the biggest mistakes anybody makes, especially people who are just starting out, never done this before. Just because the market's open doesn't mean you have to make a trade. Haven't made a trade all day, and I'm okay with it. Sometimes you just get a day off. It is what it is. But nevertheless, if you are interested in trading in other areas of the market, such as big board stocks, Forex, options, cryptocurrencies, whatever, I encourage you to check out our community. It's called WeTradeHQ.com. So the links are down in the description below if you want to check that out. It's absolutely free to join. It's a platform that we've created where you can do technical analysis, search for your favorite tickers, talk about it amongst your friends, and I'm sure I'll share my screen so you can take a look at it in a little bit. We have over 4,200 members from around the globe learning and growing and celebrating each other's success, trading every area in the market so that no matter what you're trading, We Trade HQ is the place for you. So what's going on, guys? Blade Runner, Stone Cold, Richmond, Jake, what's going on, Jake? Good to see you, man. Andrew, what's going on? Beam me up. Amy, good to see you. So yeah, I see a couple of questions there. Definitely be answering those. So keep them coming. If you got some questions, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about any individual ticker. If you just have a question about share structure, or you got a question about dilution, how do you manage risk? How do you sell out of a stock? How do you buy a stock? With the volatility that we experience. So bring them on, even if it might seem too simple. I want to answer those for you as well, so that you kind of get a good idea of what it is that we do actually in the OTC. So what's going on, Ryan? Hey man, I haven't seen you in a long time. Hawaiian Ryan, good to see you, buddy. What's going on, Sheila? Good to see you too. So what do you think about BLYQ and micro floats? So is the WeTrade HQ server very secure? Of course it is. It's very secure. Without question. So first question from Nathan. What do you think about BLYQ and micro floats? So sure. As I kind of anticipated, here's the platform that I was talking about, WeTrade HQ, where I can go and search any ticker. So BLYQ. Well, it's not on here. So let's say BLYQ micro floats. Let me see. Did I type it in wrong? Sometimes these tinier ones. No, I got it right. BLYQ. Yep. Can't find it. Sometimes you can't find these through trading view. So BL. Here we go. Bali Corp. Jake, if you're watching, make sure you get BLYQ on WeTrade HQ. Sometimes you get some of these really tiny ones and you just can't find them. Such is life in the OTC sometimes. 52,000 unrestricted shares in the float. Here's my thought on really tiny micro float stocks. Okay, they're fun to watch when the dollar volume comes in and they start rolling. Right, they're not so fun to watch when the selling starts. So BLYQ has an insane spread, 486 by 525, and what I mean by that is that the bid price is at 486, the ask price is at 525. So those are the basically the areas that you're going to be able to get in at this point. If the volume doesn't happen, then you're stuck, right? So let's just say a bunch of dollar volume shows up, everybody stops buying and selling, and then you're just left with shares and nobody there to buy them. So there's a real danger when you're talking about micro floats. So what I would suggest that you do, if it's something that you really want to start trading with, do it in small increments. Don't take any position sizes of any great size, because if you do, first of all, you're going to have a hard time really getting in. And if you do get in, you're going to have an extremely hard time getting out. So practicing, scaling yourself in, scaling yourself out. It's definitely a good strategy to do with stuff like that. And I do that with over-the-counter stocks, period. But something especially that tiny, 52,000 to float. I mean, that's insane. So literally somebody could just buy out that entire float and hold shares forever. So it's just extremely risky for me to do something to get into something like that. You're talking real strong issues of liquidity. So like I said, they can move like crazy, but sometimes it might not even be worth it. So hope that answered your questions. VGTL, any thoughts? Taking a look at VGTL. Let's see, VGTL. What's going on with VGTL? So the first thing I'll look at, if I'm looking at a stock, I see this nice little cup and handle on the daily. That doesn't look too shabby. So I like it on the chart so far. So the first thing I'm doing when I'm doing due diligence on a stock, if I'm like saying, okay, I don't know anything about this, what do I do? So I'm going to first off look at the chart, see if I can identify any patterns that look pretty nice. And so far, this looks like a decent cup and handle that could be forming. We'll see if this continues to consolidate a little bit over here on the handle side of the cup pattern here. But as you can see, if you pull it out to the 30-minute chart, and you can see over here on WeTradeHQ.com that it's started this cup. If you imagine like a teacup, that's what this pattern looks like. And this handle is forming. And oftentimes you can see like when there's an area of nice consolidation that it'll break out of that handle and could make a nice move north. It could make a nice move up over 003. We'll see though. Let's see what else is going on with VGTL though. What I'm doing due diligence, like I said, first thing I'm going to do is look at the chart, see what's going on there. Looks like it's pretty liquid for the most part, so that's good. Float is super tiny. No, actually it's not. Sorry, this is outdated, 2014. So this is probably the most recent. We have unrestricted shares, 495 million. That's what I'm talking about. That looks like a pretty sweet spot there for float, as long as they're not diluting too heavy. And we can go ahead and take a look at that next. So that's my next step when I'm looking to do due diligence. When I do this, I'm going to go and look at their filings. Are they current? They are. What was the latest quarterly report came out? So let's take a look to see if they have convertible debt, because that's probably one of the most detrimental things to any kind of over-the-counter stock is convertible debt. Some of it's okay, some of it's not. If they have too much of it, it can't be overcome. Bad news for a stock like VGTL. So just taking a look here, actually doesn't look like they have too much to deal with. They do have some, but it doesn't look like there's much to overcome on that. So so that's when I would try to look for potential catalysts. So as far as VGTL is concerned, what else do they have going on? What recent news do they have? They haven't had any recent news, doesn't look like. Oh, here we go. Came out with news today. Mike the Pike Entertainment announces development on vampire feature with Jay Stern, producer of Horrible Bosses, Rush. Oh, well, that's kind of cool. What is it that they actually do? Company profile. Multi-platform company offering products and support in the entertainment industry. So, I mean, this could be interesting. I don't know, though. What's going on dollar volume-wise? So let's look up VGTL. So this is my, still haven't quite made a decision on this one. VGTL, so I'll go to equity feed. This is my personal scanner that I use. $30,000 in dollar volume. It's 1230 in the open market. I'm not liking it just because of volume, but then again, it could be, one of those things where maybe it's just because the market's doing terrible. But I do like the chart. I like the chart. The share structure looks decent. It looks like they're a legitimate company, and there could be something here for sure. If you're looking to take a position on it, make sure that you're starting out small because of the volatility that we experienced down in the OTC. You always want to make sure you're scaling yourself in, not taking your entire position size all in one shot. So if it can sustain, is it still at 16 here? It's actually at 18. So if it can sustain that support at 16, I'd say that'd probably be a decent trade if you could make an entry on that one. And you just have to watch for that breakout. If it breaks out of this handle, it could make a nice little move. I mean, look at that. It looks almost exactly like a cup and handle there, like a teacup. So, all right. Great question. What's the next one we got here? Uh, Is there another way to get out of a loser besides whacking? So, if you guys don't know what we're talking about basically whacking on a bid price. So, if you have a bid price, ask price, and you want to sell out of a stock, let's just say that you're trying to get out of it in a hurry. Sometimes selling on that bid price is necessary. But when you're trying to actually make a quality trade, you always want to get in. Sometimes you could try to get in on a bid price by putting in a limit order on that bid price and trying to get that filled. Sometimes, though, there's stocks that are going to be moving on momentum way faster than you probably could get into, or just way faster than it would be worth getting in on a bid price. So then you're going to what we call slap the ask. You're going to put an order in on that ask price. And then as the stock starts moving, you're going to then again sell on the ask price, whatever that price may be, and then scale yourself out that way so that it does not kill momentum. It doesn't, it maximizes your profit for sure. But sometimes, let's just say there's a negative catalyst that comes about, like a reverse split, something pretty nasty, or a huge offering, something along those lines, and you're trying to get out. That's when it would be necessary to just try to keep selling on that bid price so that you can get out without hurting yourself. That it's a terrible situation to be in, but sometimes it's necessary. So when you're asking about, so another way to get out of a loser besides bid whacking, really just selling on the ask price. If you're willing to wait it out, then that's the only other way. But I really don't like to talk about market selling because then that could really screw you over. Market selling basically is a method or a type of order that goes and finds the path of least resistance as far as market makers are concerned. So I really try to discourage any kind of like market orders. So for that reason, to answer your question most simply, there really isn't. If you're trying to get out, if you really want to get out, and there's really no other way to do it than just hitting on that bid price. All right. BLYQ is now on WeTrade HQ. So let's look at that. BLYQ. There it is. Whoops. Great questions, guys. Keep them coming. But yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Areas of extreme, or lack thereof liquidity. This is not going to be good. If somebody came up here and bought look, I guarantee you somebody got an order filled at 686, and then all it would take is like one or two trades to literally bring it back all the way back down to $5. You're talking about $1.50 difference here within probably 2 or 3 trades, if that. That's really all it would take. These candles probably represent individual trades. I'm willing to bet that. Because of the extreme, lack of liquidity, it's really tough to play something like this. I mean, you're only talking about maybe a handful of people that could possibly profit on something like this, and everybody else just kind of gets screwed. So I really try not to waste my time with something like BLYQ. Personally, if you're good at trading this kind of stuff, more power to you. I'm just not personally, and I really try to stay away from things that have bid sizes of a full dollar. I mean, this is almost a whole dollar spread here. Bids at 495, 565 the high. Yeah, I don't know. I can't do it, man. All right, so doesn't look like there's any other questions. I know that it's really slow today, but I did have somebody ask a question about share structure in general. What's a good area to like really talk about share structure as far as like what do you want to look for? And we actually had if you're interested in checking out the morning mentorship, somebody asked this question in the morning mentorship about VPOR. So if we go and look at VPOR, I do the same type of process when I'm looking at, my doing my due diligence. So you go to VPOR. They came out with news today, and so they came out with news on basically selling their product. You can see how on the daily chart it looks crazy, but it's starting to move up from 0005, 0006, starting to move up here. I'm not I'm not going to trade this. I'm not going to trade it because as soon as I did this, went to otcmarkets.com, looked up the share structure, 35 billion with a B in authorized shares. 7.2 billion with a B in the float. That is insane. That is an insane share structure. I cannot believe that this thing is actually moving. The only reason that I can fathom why this is moving is because it has somebody holding a ton of shares waiting to dump on you, the poor soul that decides to get into VPOR after it's already ran 80%. I mean, look at this. 1,600 trades, $486,000 in dollar volume, and it's only moved 4 ticks. That is insane. You're looking at level 2 here. Look how fat that ask price or the ask wall is. Like it's just way too big. Large marge for VPOR. So that was like already a hard no before I even went through that. But why is it moving anyway? Well, it moves because they came out with news that says they secured $210,000 in purchase order from Diamond CBD. I mean, first of all, CBD stuff is a dime a dozen. We know that. $210,000 purchase order really isn't that big of a deal. Not for it to be, look, now somebody went ahead and painted this 9,000 share order at 001 to try to induce buying. That's just insane. VPOR, complete waste of money today. If anybody bought into this, honestly, it's probably sucking a lot of the liquidity out of the whole OTC market. At $500,000, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be upset about this. I don't think it's going to go much higher than that. If it does, I mean, I don't know. I'll be floored. I'll be shocked. Do we understand what happened Monday with MEDH with that spike and then sell later? Should it not have held? Great question. So MEDH, this is the one that I put on Stockwatch Sunday, and I even told everybody. I told folks to Stockwatch Sunday. Also told folks within the morning mentorship that, MEDH was going to be one of those ones where you have to be extremely careful with because of this. And this goes right along with, the low float. So pulling up MEDH, I believe I did call this a dark horse on Stockwatch Sunday. Instead, it was one that may get a move on, but 15 million in the float, which means that it's going to take off like a rocket if there was enough buying pressure that came in. MEDH, there was not enough buying pressure that came in. It did pop up first thing in the morning. And I told folks within the morning mentorship that you have to be very careful with this. You have to scale in very small. Don't take any large position size because it's all about that risk management, managing the risk. So if you take a smaller position, you're minimizing your risk and seeing how the market's going to react. Well, the market didn't react very well. And so I actually sold out of my position, slightly red, wasn't anything crazy. And, again, I didn't take a huge position size because I understood how this stock would react given the share structure, the potential news that was coming out. There was opportunity to make some pretty decent money if, in fact, the dollar volume came in. The unfortunate part was that dollar volume did not come in, and so I just decided to get out because the volume dried up. There was hardly anything. People just seemed really disinterested in it. So I got out completely and wasn't going to bother with it any longer. Let's see. What's the next question? LVXI has big volume today. Any thoughts? LVXI, didn't it come out with an RS or something? Or am I thinking LUXI? Let's take a look. LVXI. Las Vegas Express. 10 billion AS. 1.1 billion unrestricted shares. 0003. I'm going to say it's probably going to be a hard no for me, if I'm honest. Did they come out with, was it a filing they came out with? Let's see. No, they didn't even come out with that. So I don't know. It's probably some sort of pump. People trying to get other people to buy into it. Where is it at? Is it an unusual volume by chance? Nope. Let's look at that. LVXI. Let's see. Yeah, it's up 0%. There's just a lot of volume on it. And honestly, for a 0003, that's not a lot of volume. 147 million on a what was the float Let's check it out again. What was the float on that? Yeah, so basically we'll call it 1.2 billion float, and there's only been 147 million shares churned through this thing, and we are over more than halfway through the trading day. So probably going to be a hard no for me. I have no idea why this is moving. Therefore, it's going to be a no for me, dog. Let's see. Yeah, nothing else. Whoops. So nothing there. I did not already go over PVDG. It's just got low volume today. Nothing, kind of like with everything else. I still think that I still think there's potential with PVDG. It's tough to try to figure out what's going on with it, considering everything else has just got low volume. So, I mean, the only thing I can tell you about on a day like today is like if you are seeing opportunities on stocks that you see value in, or maybe that you're building a position, if it happens to take a dip to where it looks like a really good opportunity to either add to your position or maybe enter into your position for a longer term swing trade, that's really the only thing that you really could look at today and say, okay, I'm going to get in because that looks like a good price. But honestly and truthfully, like I just don't think that there's really any good opportunities out there for me. It might change. I mean, we still have a few hours left in the trading day, but it's awfully slow. So I just thought we'd take an opportunity to maybe answer some questions. So you guys had some good ones. And that's going to be it for me, guys. I think that if you have any other questions, you want to learn more, I do have the morning mentorship where I go live with folks from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. We go over a potential catalyst that could be moving before the market open, and then we plan and execute after that market open. And then I'm with my folks in my exclusive Discord group as well all day long. So go check that out if you're interested in that. The links are in the description below. And if you're new, I hope that I earned your subscription today and a good thumbs up. I don't know how many people are watching, but give me a thumbs up. I certainly would appreciate it. And that is it for me, guys. As always, I'll see you all before the bell. B. Smith is out. Have a good one.